So to get around that, what we want to do is just take our directional light, which is going to represent the sun, and just pair that to the camera. So now if I kind of zoom in here on the car a little bit more, you can see the live action shot of the practical shot in the background and the CG object in the front. You can see that as I scrub through this, notice this highlight changing. And if you look at the car here, even just in the hardware mode, you can see that we're really getting a very similar specular pattern by having that directional light positioned properly and going along for the ride of the camera. So if we jump back to the shot cam and look through that, you can see now what we have has the nice swimming highlights happening, and it really starts to look pretty good. So the next step in the process for me is going to be to go ahead and start to set up my renders. Now, I'm going to be rendering this out as OpenEXR files, and the beautiful thing about OpenEXR files is they have a lot of different exposure levels included in it. The files are really, really great to use with Flame because it gives the ability for the Flame artist to really dial in the final look of this and make sure that it grounds to that practical shot exactly right.
It also saves you some time and effort because you can render one file that has information to do things like motion blur or relighting or things like this. What it lets you do is kind of keep things loose. There's still some information, some practical information in those files that David can then adjust later in post-production in Flame.
Yeah, so the pass system in mind is pretty cool. We can do a couple different things with it. The first thing that we're going to use it for is to isolate certain pieces of geometry. So I have a pass set up for just my wheels. I have a pass set up for the car beauty, which is going to be the glass and the mirrors and everything. And then I have another pass set up just isolating the car paint. If we bring up our pass window, let's go ahead and make sure we render with Mental Ray. You always want to use Mental Ray. We're going to switch this over to OpenEXR. Again, a very important thing. There's no reason not to ever render anything except OpenEXR in my opinion. And if we jump over to our passes here, you can see that I have a list of other passes that I can find out. So not only am I rendering out beauty passes, full color passes, opacity passes, which will be